Hello there. Evie, is it? Yes. So glad to see you today. Before we begin, I would just like to give you a basic idea of what the session is going to look like. Okay. Okay, so the first thing is that anything we talk about in here will be kept between you and me. The only reason I might have to break that confidentiality is if there is any report of abuse or risk of harm to yourself or others. Are you okay with that? Mm-hmm. Okay, great. Also, I just wanted to let you know that I will be taking notes. This is just for me to write down anything I might feel is important for us to remember later. Is that okay with you? Yes. Also, towards the end of the session, I like to take a little break to give us both a few minutes to think about what we've gone over and anything else we might need to address before we finish out the session. Okay. Okay, well, I've done a lot of talking already. How about you tell me a little bit about yourself and what brought you in today? Well, I'm 45 years old, and I just found out I have breast cancer. Just recently you found out? Yes, I found out last month, right after Christmas. And how have you been handling that so far? Well, I'm here because I'm not. Can you tell me a little bit more about what you mean? Well, my daughter is supposed to be graduating high school in a few months. My husband is busy at work all the time. I've just been really an emotional wreck lately. How so? Oh, I'm crying all the time. I try not to do it in front of my daughter or my husband. I don't want them to worry too much or pity me. But I just don't understand why I can't get over this. I know people who have beaten cancer, no problem. But for me, I just can't get over it. Have you started any kind of treatments yet? I've only had a couple of sessions. It made me feel really sick that day, but otherwise it wasn't so bad. In a month or two, I go back for more tests. I may have to have surgery. I see. You're having trouble dealing more with the idea of it all, than the treatments. Yeah, I'm just so scared. I can't stop thinking about it all. The what ifs. What if my treatment doesn't work and I die? What if my husband remarries? What if my daughter needs me and I'm not there? What if she doesn't need me at all and just moves on? What if she gets breast cancer too because of me? It sounds like you've had a lot of time to think. Yeah, I was working full-time, but since I've started treatments, I'm on leave from my job. I suppose I thought it would give me time to rest and cope with everything. But really all it's done is give me more time to worry. And I don't want to do that. I don't want to be like this or feel like this. Well, you know it is normal to worry. It's part of human nature. It helps us prepare for the future. But it sounds like you're telling me that you feel like you're thinking too much about the future and what could happen. Yeah, it's just like I can't stop. I don't want to worry, but I can't help it. Well, let's think. Has there been any time recently that you haven't felt worried? Yeah, Saturday my husband was home and my daughter was home and we decided to drive out to the beach. It was really relaxing. I loved being with them. I tried not to worry about the fact that if treatments failed, it might be the last time I get to do this. What made you stop thinking that way? I don't know. Well, tell me more about the trip to the beach, and maybe we can figure it out. Well, we got in the car, and my husband turned on his country music station. My daughter argued with him about that for a little bit, because we don't like his music. So we switched it to her favorite, the pop music. We danced in the car a bit. We stopped to get some burgers and fries. Then we got to the beach. We put out a blanket and had a picnic. While we ate, my daughter talked about some new guy she was interested in and what her friends were doing that weekend. We talked all about the meetings she had coming up and the volunteering she's been doing. She's so busy. She reminds me of myself when I was in high school, always so involved and loving every minute of it. I see. So you've always been a pretty busy and active person. Yes, always. And I think that's why I'm having a hard time, is that everyone wants me to relax, but I don't want to. Have you talked with your husband or other family members or people at work about this? Well, sort of. I've told them I think I'm getting bored. People from work check in sometimes, and I tell them I'd love to be back. But everyone seems so set on me relaxing and coping. I see. So, I'm just tired of people telling me what I am. I'm not gone yet. I need something to do. Right. That time out with your family seemed to really make you happy. It did. I know they're busy, but I'm not expecting them to stop their lives just because mine is all crazy right now. We still have bills to pay. My daughter is still just a teenager. Right. Well, let's go back to the day you said you weren't worried. Is there anything in particular you think may have helped you avoid worrying? Well, aside from just having other people around me to talk to, I suppose it was nice just to listen to music and dance around. Do you do that at home sometimes? Occasionally. Not lately. That would be fun. Is that something you think you could try? To maybe take your mind off things a little more? It's worth a try. Okay. Yeah, anything is at this point. Well, on a scale of 1 to 10, how likely do you think you might be to try something like that? Maybe a 5? Okay, so that's an option for you. Oops. Yeah, like I said, anything is worth a try at this point. Well, what about the rest of that beach day? Well, I really liked being outside. Feeling the breeze, looking at all the people and animals around us. I suppose it gave me something else to think about other than myself. Are you able to get to the beach very often? No, everyone's worried about me driving since I have to be on a bit of medication for pain and all that. Okay, what about at home? Have you ever felt like being outside at home made you feel a little bit better? Yeah, I think so. There's quite a few birds around. I've been seeing them now that it's springtime. That's fun. Have you always had an interest in birds? Well, my dad did. I never really understood it. I thought it was boring when I was a kid, but now it's kind of neat. Reminds me of him. And gives me something to do. Oh, are you involved in any type of bird watching clubs? No, but a girl at work happened to mention that she was in one the other day when I was bored and called. That's neat. Yeah, she asked if I wanted to go out bird watching with her in the club she's in. Yeah? I told her I wasn't feeling up to it that day, but maybe I could. It would give me a chance to maybe talk to her about what's been going on at work since I left. You miss work? I don't know if it's so much that I miss work as much as I do the people. Right. That makes sense. So maybe I'll give her a call. Great. I think it's really awesome that you were able to come up with that idea. It sounds like your friend from work would be a great resource and a support for you. Yeah, she's really great. I was probably closest to her of all the people from work. So, yeah, well, I'm going to redirect you for a little bit. This may seem like a strange question, especially on your first visit, but what do you think it would take for you to not have to come see me anymore? And what would that look like for you? Well, I guess I would be able to hang out at my house and not worry so much. Maybe I would listen to music and dance while I did laundry. And I would try to fix dinner for my family, or maybe get out of the house some more and try new things. Oh, what kind of things would you try? Well, maybe I would take an art class. I've heard they have those at the craft store. You know, maybe a cake decorating one, or maybe I could just go sit at the park and have my own picnic. I don't usually like doing things by myself, but I feel like I have to do things differently these days. I think you're coming up with some really great ideas. Have you been interested in art or baking before? Oh, a little when I was younger and was home with my daughter before I started working full-time. Kind of lost touch with that when life got so busy. I guess life has been busy a lot until now. Well, like I said, I think you've come up with some really great ideas on how to make things better for you. I think this might be a really good time for us to take a little break and think over everything we've talked about. When I get back, we can go over what we've discussed and see if there's anything else we need to talk about. Okay. Oh, I forgot to mention, I also have some coloring books here and some fine tipped markers. If you'd like, you're more than welcome to pick a page to do while we break. Oh, great. Thank you. Okay, I have a copy here of the notes I've taken. Ideas we've talked about. Okay, did you have a chance to think over what we've talked about today? You know, I didn't get to finish this coloring page, but it was really great. I'm going to have to get me one of these. Where did you get them? Well, I got this one at the craft store, but they're everywhere. I've even seen them at the pharmacy. I thought you might enjoy it since you mentioned liking art. Yeah, you know, I think I've really missed this part of my life. Yeah? And you know, I realize that maybe I can relax like everyone wants me to, but maybe differently than they're all expecting me to. Okay, so what is that going to look like for you? Well, like I mentioned, I think I might try some music or dancing. Maybe the bird watching. Maybe just going for a walk to the park in my neighborhood. I'm not supposed to do much on my own. You know, all the medication and such. Right. But I think maybe I could get a neighbor or someone to go with me. Or maybe my daughter might come home early one day when she doesn't have meetings or practice, and she could spend some time with me. I don't think she'd mind once a week or every other week coming home to hang out. We've always been pretty close. It sounds like your daughter's a great support for you. Oh, she is. Like I said, I know she's busy. I would never ask her to stop all her activities for me, because I was the same way when I was her age. But I think we could work something out. That sounds wonderful. So tell me, if we were to compare how you feel now to how you felt when you first came in. Oh, I feel so much better already. So you think it's helped? Absolutely. You've been such a great help. Well, I'm glad you see our time together as being helpful, but I just want to point out to you that you've really done most of the work here. Oh, I don't know. You really have. You were able to think about the things that made you happy. We were able to come up with ideas about new things. You told me what a wonderful support system you have. You know, I didn't even realize it. All the time I've spent thinking and getting nowhere. Well, in my line of work, we like to think about you, the client, as being the expert on your own life. You know what's best for you. Sometimes it's just harder to see. Sometimes we tend to focus on life's problems, but what we really need is just to focus on what's going good and what is working. Yeah, I've spent a lot of time thinking about all the bad stuff. But now that you've tried it, I'd really like for you to try it at home on your own this week. Do you think you could do that? What do you mean? Well, what we've done today is really just look at things from a different perspective. Trying to look for what is working instead of what's not working. Right. So this week, maybe in addition to trying the new activities we talked about, Maybe you could also work on seeing things from a different perspective. Okay, so maybe when you start to worry about something, write it down and try to see it from a different perspective. Try to find something good that is going on. You don't have to do it all day or every day. Maybe just one day when you catch yourself worrying, try to stop yourself and be mindful of what types of thoughts and activities stop that worrying. And if you can, maybe you could also write that down for me so we can talk about it next week. So I have homework? I can't wait to tell my daughter. She will get a kick out of this. Just a little bit of homework. Do you think you could try that? Yes, I think so. Anything to keep me busy. Great. Well, then I will see you next week. Looking forward to it. Thank you.